So this is just kind of like a semi-quick follow-up video to my little Uber Quest little quick tip. Since I'm already just kind of kicking it in this parking spot, taking a few minutes from driving, figured I would just kind of let people know what it's like driving for Uber in Vegas. Again, I've been doing it for about 7 months now, about 650 rides, and I've retained 4.98. I had one star from app malfunctions, and the girl got mad, and I've had like 5 4s. You know, those are the worst. Like you're like, how did I miss the mark? But whatever. So I know Uber's under a lot of heat right now, and trust me, I 100% support us trying to like get more fare and more share of the fare, because I mean, I've seen the rates go down, and you know, the traffic's kind of bad here in Vegas. And I remember when like I could like guarantee something being like, okay, I'm getting 15 bucks for it, and now it's like, but now I'm getting 10, or now I'm getting 9. So does kind of hurt. I have felt the sting, and for a while I was driving Lyft more often, but there's no longer like, there's like no promotions really, or at least over here in Vegas there's not for Lyft. So this is why it's mainly like an Uber video, and I've been primarily doing Uber. Like, I don't think I've done a Lyft ride in like over a month now, and I would probably only turn on Lyft for the destination mode, though that whole destination filter fiasco has not hit Vegas just yet, and I hope it doesn't. Not that it really works in my favor too much anyhow. But this is if you're like a new driver, or if you're considering moving to Vegas and you drive currently, or you live in Vegas and you're like wondering what it's like. So you know, I don't have any screenshots to show you. I'm just recording this like, you know, off my phone right here, right now. I average like a bad day, you know, if I break it down between like cash, the time, whatever, about like 21, 22 an hour. Last night I was like almost hitting like 29 for 5 hours of work. And I would say somewhere in the middle, like my average is between 23 to 26, somewhere in there. Now, granted, I'm a full-time student, so Monday through like Wednesday, I don't really work like a whole lot. I have night classes Mondays and Wednesdays, and morning classes Tuesday, Thursdays. So if anything, you know, Mondays might drive for like 3-4 hours before class, and then Tuesdays, if I get up early enough, I'll get up like at 4, go to the gym, and then I'll work for a little bit before school, which I don't know, it's not really that fruitful. At least like every time I've done it, which isn't that many times. But I'll work a little bit like afterwards or something. So I would say predominantly Monday through Wednesday, there's no way I even like put in more than like 9-10 hours. Like, that's kind of on the low. And then Thursdays, like last night, I did 5 hours. I got like 16 trips. So you could make good time. And then weekends, solid. Like today's a Friday, I can be busy all day, all night if I want to. Saturdays, I would say you're busy every time, maybe after like 11 a.m., 12 p.m., you know, in the afternoon. Like the morning isn't really that worth it. And I never drive late. So if you're under the, you know, conception that or the perception that you have to drive late in Vegas to make money, I would say no. Though the surge is almost on fire all the time later on at night, but not till like 3 in the morning. And now the new surge is kind of crappy, let's be honest here, because, you know, they're making a lot of money. Like, they're still like hella multiplying probably these people's fares, but now it's, instead of a 2x or 3x or something like that, it's, you know, oh, $5, $6. The most surge I ever got was like $6.75, and I've never seen it, and that it was like cherry red. So like, I don't really know how much higher it can get than that. But I will say this. So as far as like expenses, things like that, I drive a Toyota Avalon with the V6. I average about you know, somewhere between like 24 to 26. And as far as like I can tell, I don't lose money doing this. Like, I mean, I have a house, I have bills to pay. My GI Bill does help me with a lot of my bills, but I would say on average, like, I'm bringing home about $500-600 a week, and I maybe fill up once or twice a week as I drive, and that's maybe $60. So the expenses, it's not hitting me. And if anyone is like sitting here watching a ton of videos and it's like, oh, Uber's wasting money, blah, look, dude, it is all about perspective. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, like, take a look at my car. You don't see any like crazy tip jars or anything like that. I got some phone chargers for people to use. I keep my car nice and clean and comfortable. I play kind of whatever I'm feeling, usually something like EDM-esque, like esque, or like John Mayer radio, something neutral. And you know, if I know, like, cause like I like metal, I like a bunch of other different things. Like if someone comes in, like I know they like hip hop, dude, I'll put on Kanye, I'll put on like whatever like stuff I like. And if they want to put on their own stuff, usually I'll let them. That's like the only thing I don't like, dude. Like, oh God, I hate changing my own music, but whatever. But what I want to tell you, even though I am totally not for how the company's being ran, and that we should have more say, more feedback, opportunity, definitely more fair. I get like 66 cents a mile here, okay, and I still make like good money. Okay, very few of my friends, their jobs are like where mine's at, and you know, that's why like I'm not, you know, weird when about like saying like, oh dude, I drive for Uber. Why? Because like I make more than half the people that I tell people that to. But I will say, it's all about perspective, and it's all about your attitude. Like, you gotta sell yourself. Now, granted, you know, if you're watching this and you're out of state, some of this won't apply to you, like, because there's always tourists here. There's always people that need to go A to B. A lot of people just use Uber to get around. So, like, I'm spoiled here in Vegas because I don't have to drive to another city that neighbors my town to like go get rides. I don't have to go very far. Like, half the time I could just like wake up, get home from the gym, I'll play Apex Legends or something, and I'll just turn the app on. And half the time I don't even do that, mostly because I know I'm gonna get one. I never, ever, hardly ever wait longer than 10 minutes for a ride. And once I get one, they just keep going, they just keep going, they just keep going, they just keep going. So, you know, but a lot of how I make my money definitely is the tips, and I don't like have any papers in here like rate me 5 stars, leave a tip, da 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 da. Like, dude, if you guys do that, that's cool, but like I just don't feel like I need to. Good conversation goes a long way. If you're doing this, like, you better have people skills. Like, you are providing your own service. Like, I mean, you are being someone's driver. It's not hard to sell yourself, and it's not hard to be a good person or be nice or just like be kind of, and now I get it. It's not, everyone doesn't want to talk. That's cool. Okay, I will pay myself to listen to my music and drive around. I like to drive. Like, I'm a car guy. I love to drive. I don't care. But when people want to talk, there's not very many times where like I don't feel like talking. Obviously, like, I'm here chit-chatting for 8 minutes straight, no problem. So that's not a big deal for me. Now, if you're not a very talkative person, you're very introverted. My girlfriend, she does Postmates now, and honestly, she almost made as much as I did last night. I was like, oh crap, dude. Like, and she probably didn't spend nearly as much like time or whatnot, like, you know, having to go all over the place, this and that. So I think like a delivery-esque service would probably be more beneficial for you. And I've actually considered doing it just, you know, to help her get her bonus and whatnot for her code, whatever. But if you are thinking about doing it, and you live in an area that has a lot of people, say like, you know, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, San Francisco, well, that's kind of a touchy area, you know, Denver, stuff like that, I think it'd be awesome. And I enjoy doing this. Now, I do know that it is like a temporary thing. I do not look at this as a career in the slightest. And it's, before you know it, there's gonna be autonomous vehicles. So like, I think if you're gonna like do anything, get when the getting's good. And that's like, well, good, you know, that's like right now. It's only gonna start going down, I think. You know, eventually all the cars are gonna drive themselves. They're not gonna need us. You know, just as Jay or whatever on the Rideshare guy says, we are an expense. Okay, we are an expense. It's like, I see it on the strip. The BMW active cars for Lyft, they're all over the place. So, you know, you just got to kind of roll with the punches. But, you know, if I can slide in, you know, because you always get the same chit chat. People are going to ask you the same, get used to telling the same story every day. Get used to saying the same stuff all the time. They're going to ask you how long you've been doing it. They're going to ask you where you're from, blah, 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 blah. Like, at this point, like, you're just a walking brochure. Like, you're just sitting there being like, oh, duh, I'm from here, this and that, ha, ha, ha. Been doing it for however long. Oh, yeah, you know. The only thing that I will just kind of let you know, do I tell people in the car that I make like 20-something an hour? Hell nah, dude. I'm in college. I'm a broke college kid. I was working in Cadillac, wasn't making that much money, didn't want to let my education go to waste. So, you know, I'm not balling out at the club or anything, but I can, you know, afford my bills. And, you know, I do tell tourists, I tell people all the time, like, the tips are what makes up for it. Because I tell everyone, even if, like, everybody left me just $2 that day, that's a whole entire tank of gas. And it really is. So if I go and get 20 rides in a day, if $2 happened from everybody, which, like, the other night some guy gave me 20 bucks, the most I've ever gotten on a tip was $100 cash. You know, you just kind of slide that in, because then you're not like, because honestly, dude, like, I've been in like a few Ubers, and like when I see like the tip jar or this, it's like, dude, like, why are you like turning like your car, your personal car, into like some like weird taxi cab thing? Like, my whole philosophy is like now I'm 24, so like I'm in this like ripe age where, like, you know, younger people, if they're like 18 in college, like, I can relate because I'm in school. Half the time I pick up people from my school. When I leave class, like, I try to get someone going my way home so I can pay myself to go home. If I pick up someone who's like 30, I'm not too far off because, like, I can handle myself in a conversation. If they're like 45 or older than that, at this point I'm like their son or like their grandkid. So I'm in this sweet spot. If you're a little bit older than me, you know, you can like relate to these people on a different level, and you just have to understand how to find common ground if they're willing to speak to you. And, you know, it's hard for me to like not talk over people sometimes because I can't shut up, but you know, definitely just let people talk about themselves. Ask them, like, so where are you from? Or like, oh, so what do you like to do? Or what do you plan on doing here? Like, you know, pertaining to your city. Like, why are they there? Are you here for business? Are you here for that? Oh, I'm here for business. Oh, well, you know, there's no better place to go for business in Vegas. Like, look at all the stuff you can do. You just kind of get on a roll, and they're going to ask you for suggestions. Just be helpful. Now, yeah, there's a bunch of other, like, little ways you could try and, like, do this. Like, there's, you know, cargo, there's stereo, which I've been wanting to get onto that. To make some extra dough, but you don't need to. Just be yourself. It's the easiest job. Now, you're gonna have a few hellish people once in a while. I've never had anybody that nuts, that crazy. I've never had anybody throw up yet or anything like that. There are gonna be those days that kind of suck, or, you know, you gotta just be optimistic. Like, I don't know how many times where, like, man, I just had like a crap ride. Like, it took so much time, I got nothing out of it. Maybe the people kind of sucked in the car, like, you know, they were like making a bunch of noise, or like, I mean, I had these girls like fighting, like fist fighting in the car, and I'm just like, dog, like, what is going on? But then the next person you pick up, they're amazing, they're really friendly, you know, maybe they leave you a few bucks, like, you know, you're having fun. Like, you gotta try and enjoy this, and you have to understand that it is a human-to-human connection, and that should be the forefront of it. And that is what kind of, I think, Uber needs to like do and remind us and some of you guys out there, is that we're here, people being to people. Don't just show up and be like a stone wall. Like, yeah, you're gonna get your money, okay, bro? Like, you're gonna get your $4. You're gonna get your $3.97 for the base fare. You're gonna get your $5 or $6 or maybe $9 for like a ride that's in traffic. But why make it awkward? Like, why keep someone in silence? Why do that? Why not try to make your day a little bit better? Why not try to make someone else's day a little bit better, and try to turn that $4, that $5 into $6, $9, $12, or like even double that sometimes. Like, people can be generous, and if you're out, even when, like, say, like, your chips aren't stacked super high, but you're still like going the distance to like help someone or like make their day a little bit better, it will happen. Now, like, I would just try to throw this in the end. Sometimes, you know, you're picking up someone who's rich. All right, sometimes, you know, this person in your car has hella money, and you try to be hella like super, you know, Miss Daisy about everything, like, you know, hey gentlemen, like, do you want me to change the air, do you want me to do this, or do you need anything? Maybe, because like, look, I don't offer food, water, I don't do none of that, but like, I might even be like, hey man, I got some gum, you want some gum? Like, I'm just like trying to kind of like fish for like, help me out. And those are the people that will stiff you on like long rides or something. Like, you're just like, man, I just took you to a mansion and you can't leave me like $3. That kind of sucks. But, you know, you're gonna have those times, and then you're gonna have people who, like, they obviously don't have more money than you, hardly, but they leave you like $4, or they leave you like $5. It's crazy. So, key point, like I said earlier in the video, it's all about perspective. It's all about what you put into it is what you will get out of it. And if you know you're driving Uber, but you need a place to live, and you need like somewhere to be, dude, Vegas is where it's at. I don't really think we need new drivers per se. There is a lot of competition, mind you. But I think this is a good example of a place that you can make money doing it, because I am. So it's kind of hard to like follow these like videos that are put out like, oh, Uber's a scam, or Uber, I'm losing money, you don't make a profit. Like, I don't know, dude. Like, I'm not behind on any bills, and I have a surplus of money, and I don't even do it full time. Now, that is kind of like a touchy line, and I have watched people say, like, you know, if you start doing more than like 40 hours a week or 30 hours a week, that's when you start to see a decline, because now you might be driving in those dead hours. And there are obviously good times to drive and bad times to drive on certain days. I'm not going to say that that kind of algorithm, you know, internally does not play a part, but I will say it's not like there will never not be rides, and you kind of get in the swing of things. Like, there's certain areas I don't really go to, and there's certain areas I always try to go to. And there's also days where it's like, if I only want to drive around a bunch of tourists, I'll hang out on the Strip. If I want to just drive around locals, because they're probably going to go a little bit further, a little bit more like all over the place, then I will stay away from it as much as I can. But, you know, if your town has like a central hub like we do in Vegas, which would be the Strip, eventually you're going to go there. It is impossible. I have never done even like a few hours worth of driving and not ended up at the Strip. It's going to happen. So you kind of realize like you're going to wind up here. And there's a few other videos on people driving in Vegas, but you know, I'm trying to be like as informative as possible to this right now. And again, drive for both companies. You know, just because I'm saying I'm only doing Uber right now doesn't mean that something might not change. Like, you kind of want something there just in case. And Lyft does have an advantage as far as like cancellations. You get a little bit more money, you get $5, whatever, if that happens, because you'll get lopped at like the wrong casino all the time because they're all next to each other. It'll say, oh, go to the Harrah's. Well, they're at the Venetian. And if it's trafficy, like, dude, I'm not gonna do that. You gotta, at a certain point, you got to do some things that like make sense to you, but it doesn't hurt to go the extra mile for some people sometimes. That's all I'm saying. You know, you'll I don't know how many times I've like, you know, been to a place where like I could have gotten a cancel fee, and then they're calling me, or like I'm asking where are they exactly. You know, maybe it's their mess up, maybe it's the app's mess up, I don't care. I actually go get them, take them where they need to go, and they'll tell you, oh yeah, we've had like 2-3 drivers cancel on us. Okay, you gotta quit doing that. All right, if you're an experienced driver already and you do so, like, dude, like, why? You're minimizing the potential of your money. Honestly, at that point, you know, if you go the extra mile, someone will see that. Not everyone's gonna, you know, give you an incentive for doing so, but I would say 85-90% of the time you'll usually reap what you sow in that case. So I mean, that's kind of all I got for everything today. I mean, I've been talking a lot, but I've tried to like give a lot of information, especially on this particular demographic area in Vegas. So if you're a new driver or thinking about it, potentially doing it, even if it's just part-time, I mean, I was doing that on my days off, and like, it was an easy way in a few hours to like make 60, 80, $100 to like last me the week, eat off that, get my coffee, my Red Bull, like little things, you know, so that way you just have pocket money, and why the hell not, you know. Also, look into how to save yourself tax-wise, Mileage IQ, other services that track your stuff, so that way you don't get taxed on mileage that you didn't get paid for, because that will happen apparently. And I'm about to do my taxes, and I'll probably do a follow-up video after I get my taxes done. I didn't make enough to get a 1099K, but if you do make, I think it's like over like 12 G's on either company, which is another reason why it's good to do both, so that way if you know you're topping out, just switch over. You know, you could pretty much make 24 grand without a 1099. Like, cool. You know, you'll still have to claim some stuff. But, you know, I'll kind of go over that later on. But as for everything else, have a good rest of your day. Go make that bread. And you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll be sure to answer them. Deuce.